Want to learn more about partial products today? Now, when we do partial products is all about finding separate answers, then adding them up to get your final solution. Let's say that I had a 2-digit number. And I'm multiplying that by another 2-digit number. This is probably one of the more common methods that we use when we're doing partial products. If I choose two random numbers, let's say I choose number 64, and I want to multiply that by 35. My first step is to separate them by place value. So I'm going to go back over here, and if I read this sentence or read this word out loud, it's 64. 64. So I'm going to separate this into a 60 and a 4. Same thing here. I'm going to have 35. My two numbers are now separated by place value. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my problem. So I'm going to go back to my original problem here. When I set this up, I'm going to create a box. Where I'm going to put my 64 in one direction and my 35 on the other. So I'm going to have 64, and I'm going to have my 35. Anywhere where I have a separation of place value, I'm going to draw a line. This is where we get our partial products, where I'm going to have partial product A, partial product B, partial product C, and partial product D. Each one of these is a partial solution. At the end of this, I'm going to have to add them all up. So let's just show what we're going to be doing with each partial product, where I'm going to have A, B, C, and D. To show what each one goes with, my partial product A is going to be comparing my 5 and my 4. So I'm going to be multiplying my 5 and my 4. My partial product B is going to be doing my 5 and my 60. 5 and my 60. If I move on to my 30 up here, where I hit my C, partial product C, that is worth my 30 and my 4. And D is worth my 30 and my 60. All of these is going to help me to get my solution. I'm going to want to try and put these best as I can into place value. I noticed that this number is probably going to be my biggest, so I might start there. Well, I'm going to do 3 times 6. 3 times 6 is 18, but I also have 2 zeros. So I'm going to add those on at the end. I'm going to move up. 3 times 4 is 12, but I also have 1 0 here. So maybe I put my 0 in first, and I put my 12 in next. Noticing I'm lining these up on place value where I have my 1s, my 10s, my 100s, and my 1000s. Partial product B has 5 times 6, which is 30, but I have to remember I have 1 0. So I have 1 0, and I have the number 30. Finally, 5 times 4 is 20. I don't have any other zeros here, so I'm just going to put 20 down right away. I'm going to add these together, and my solution should give me my answer to my original problem. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0 is 4. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 plus 8 is 12. I need to carry my 1, and 1 plus 1 is 2. That tells me that 64 times 35 is 2,240. If I go back to my steps up here, what we just talked about was I only set up my problem, I multiplied each partial product. I then added them together. And all of that would give you a partial product. But some of you might have a question on what happens if my partial product, my digits, one of them is a 3-digit number. So let's do that real quick. Keep in mind our rules over here. I'm not